What's up, everybody? It's your boy Brose here, and welcome to the Brose Breakdown. So, today, as you can see in the title, it says, How am I overcoming fear? Now, the purpose of this video is to let you on how am I overcoming fear, but also to give you some insight on how am I doing it, and hopefully help you and give you some tools to help yourself. So, I'm going to use my handy dandy phone just to give you guys some insight. So fear is defined as a vital response to physical and emotional danger that's been pivotal throughout human evolution, but especially in ancient times when men and women regularly face life or death situations. And I want to talk about it in a biblical term because I'm very spiritual, so I want to talk about how it can apply to you spiritually. So another definition I found was it can be cowardice and timidity, may shy away from proclaiming, God and upholding, the truth of your higher power, whoever you feel as though that. And this because it's an impeding sense of threat and danger, which is real or imagined. So it can be in the physical sense or in emotional/mental sense. And how I define fear means, and then I wrote this down, means like confusion, and it can prevent you from pursuing your goals, doing things that you always wanted to do, and how you sabotage yourself. Now, this all relates to what I'm going through now and how I'm overcoming my fear by doing this video. Now, I would say when I first started doing the Brose Breakdown or started this thing, I had my other video, which is the Brose Brand, which I focus on fashion, and I felt like that was my thing. But I always had a calling, I felt, for being able to give great advice and talk to people and just really talk through situations. And I always was fearful for, in a sense, or not to do it because I felt like, would people listen? My channel was doing okay in the Brose Brand fashion, but also I felt as though, like, will people really focus on what I have to say without the fashion? And I found myself not really going towards something I always felt I wanted to do because I felt like nobody would listen or nobody would care or even want to do it. But I told myself I need to start putting the building blocks and doing a step-by-step process of trying. And it took 2 years because getting over that fear takes time, and it's important for you as a person to realize, like, it's not going to be an overnight process, which is very cliche to say, but I would say you will get there faster once you start taking the steps to do it and not say, I'm just going to do it. So I wanted to relate this to the theory of social identity theory. And social identity theory was developed by Henry Tefel and John Turner, and explores how individuals' self-concept are influenced by their group membership, and fear can be related to your identity in several ways, such as your in-group versus your out-group. Now, you might find fear in your in-group, which is people who you associate with, people who you belong to. That might be a fear because you might feel like I'm doing something different from them, so you might be fear of getting that type of backlash. Or you may be fear again that from the out-group perspective, when people may give you like stereotypes and negative biases, and I can apply that to myself because my friends, we don't really have a lot of the same interests in terms of me doing YouTube and things like that. They may do like music or actual like designing. So I've felt like, why would they support me? Because, you go through this thing where, your friends don't need to support you, or, they don't have to support you. Although you may want it, but they don't have to. So having that fear of my in-group not supporting me, but also having the fear of the out-group not supporting me because, I don't have a big presence on social media. A lot of people don't know me. They may stereotype me in a certain way because I'm doing this content, or they may say like, oh, you may want to be this perfect person, which I'm not, and I still have faults. So that was another thing. Also, your self-esteem, the type of, this all goes to your identity, your social identity, your self-esteem, your childhood trauma, group status, intergroup conflict, how you're socially categorized in the setting. And, you may be from one background, so they may categorize you as this, again, with the stereotypes and being prejudiced. So, in summary, fear can make you second guess your identity, who you are socially, because of, the outside characteristics that may happen. And the way I'm overcoming those things, just to tie it all back in, is being yourself no matter what? Because you constantly get to a point of, this is what I'm going to do, and certain things are not working for me. Like for me, I went to school, I got my bachelor's, I got my master's, but it was still not enough for me. I would do the fashion content and I would do this certain content, but it was still not enough. And I was like, what is going to take me to do it? And when I did that first video, I was proud of myself, but I was like, who's going to listen? So I took me being fed up, because you are going to get fed up with certain things, and I took that not worrying about what other people had to say or who's going to support me, and I just put it together, and I said, you know what? I'm going to do this channel. I'm going to do these videos because I have a passion for this. I feel this. It doesn't have to be super, correct and organized, because I also felt like, my setup, I felt like this setup wasn't even good enough. I had to overcome that fear. And another step-by-step I would say is identifying the fear. Clearly identifying, what are you afraid of? That's the most important thing. Identifying, what am I fearful of if I don't do this, or if I don't get this. Like clearly thinking about it and seeing if it's manageable. Then understanding it, because once you identify, you have to understand why and go to those points and go to, is this childhood trauma? Is this trauma, or is this stems from something else, a past relationship, or friendships, comparing yourself. Also educating yourself, because fear comes from confusion in the unknown. So trying it, okay, is it unknown? Have you really tried all the steps? Think about it. If you've done something before, you understand it. Yeah, you still may be fearful about it, but you're most likely not, because you've already been through it. Another thing I would say is challenging your thoughts. Thinking about cognitive behavioral techniques that you can come up with that can be useful to you. I always hear about the sandwich, like one bad thought, counter with 3 positive thoughts, and just gradually growing to it. Like for me, gradually recording this video, doing steps, writing down the topics I did, and just practicing techniques of relaxation, giving yourself grace once you gradually going to that fear, and then seeking support on top of that. When you're gradually going to doing those techniques, you may need support in doing so, and talking to your parent or your friend, or somebody, or even venting to social media, because that may be a safe space for you. Do a Finsta and just creating that outline, and then setting your goals, and they don't have to be super big, but they can be small, and they can do step-by-step processes. Like for me, I'm setting goals for this channel. Like hopefully this video gets 10 views. That's the goal I'm setting. And then visualizing your success. I heard this quote, and it was like, it's not about working hard, it's about being a visionary and seeing it. Because that's when you see yourself in that, when you see yourself in this realm, you'll be able to go forward and coast to it, and then other things will just drop off. And I think it was Kalen Allen who said that. I think I saw him say that in a video. Hopefully I got it correct, but he said it perfectly. And then staying persistent, and persistent can look like anything. Persistent can be you drop a video every month. That's consistency. Every week, every day, whatever consistency looks to you, but make sure you set it up in a way where it's consistent to you, not just randomly, but you following a guideline, a footstep. And for me, my consistency looks like, going back to visualizing, I'm visualizing this channel growing beyond that fashion channel. I will still do that from time to time, because I do enjoy fashion as a hobby, but I see this channel growing to a big magnitude, and I see myself really helping young people like me who are going through the same situations, and just being a support. Not just someone who can tell you about these things, but being someone who can just hear you. So that's what I see for this podcast. And lastly, I will also say reflect and adjust. For me, it's looking at the video in its rawness and looking at myself and listening to the words that I'm saying and saying, oh, I could have did this better, or I could do this better, or I can just do a better job at, getting mics and, adjusting my background, just reflecting on the whole setup, but also my content. And for you can just be just reflecting on what is that fear, and overcoming that fear with the gradual process. But I just wanted to talk to you guys about how I'm overcoming my fear right now in real time by creating this space for myself in this video and silencing the noise from others and just focus on what I feel called to do and what I feel that I can put out in the world. So guys, thank you guys for watching. Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe, and share, and just leave a comment down below if you're feeling this video. But yes, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you on my next episode with the Rose Breakdown. Peace.